Alright, we are here for the final video, wrapping up our slime level mission and level. Didn't want to cram it into that last video, it gets a little long-winded. That one took almost an hour, so go over just a couple more small things here real quick. No changes since the last video. I'm pretty much just going to wrap up how I created the windscreen. Maybe just look at a couple little things we did that we didn't go over. So if we hit play through our mission. Oh, and my trigger volume is still out of the way. I pushed it over here so I don't have to wait for my intro IGC every time, which is good development. Makes good development sense, but don't forget to put it back. So I go over here. One thing is, someone asked, how do you loop your drips? Just animating over and over again. So I can look at that really fast. So the drips are nothing more than a static mesh. And when you create a static mesh, by default they're movable. So if they don't animate it, it usually gives you a warning. If you try and animate it, it'll give you a warning and it's not movable. You click on this to make it movable. So this object is nothing more than, while it's selected, I open matinee, slime drip small, that's my matinee. And as you can see, this little camera, unfortunately in matinee they put a camera on everything as if there's an object associated with it. This means there's an object associated with this group. It's nothing more than an empty group, and I created a movement track, and I go over this in quick tips very quickly. So look at my quick tips if you want to learn how to just animate something that loops fast. But I'm going to go over it again here. This is the starting point. This would be the end point where it animates, and so all it's doing is moving from this point and then reappearing here and then cycling back and forth. The way I make it loop is in the level blueprint. On begin play, so this is an event, basically when the level starts. The only things that are happening when the level begins play is I play this matinee, which is two things: the small drips and the big drip over by the main source of the slime. They are playing their matinees, and all they're doing is moving from one point to the next, and how they're looping is this right here. I create this node, and I have my matinees attached here, my matinee attached here, so it plays it, and then I also attach them to the looping state. So they're just looping forever. And I'm going to show you how I destroy them and turn them off when we finish the level or the mission. And obviously this is my matinee fade in. When you begin the level, it fades in nicely from black to clear, or non-black, I guess. That's how the level starts. So that's a quick overview how I do that. Again, it'll be in quick tips there. I'll do, is it either in quick tips or Unreal Basics, just how to animate a quick loop, animated loop, which works good for enemies, traps, etc. So that takes care of that quickly. So let's look at the end of my level. So once we get into my door here, there's no condition that prevents me from touching this, because there's plenty of conditions that required me to go in the right order, hit the button which opens the door, and then when I hit this trigger, let's go into level blueprint the fast way. This is my turn off slime ending moment. When I touch this, we went over this last video, you set your player to cinematic mode so he doesn't move, doesn't run away and fall in the slime and die. That's another thing I can show you before this video is over, how we made the player die in the slime. I'm not sure if I did that in earlier videos. It's okay if I do it twice. So we go here, set actor to hidden. I'm turning off the text render. These are the one by the source of the slime and the one by the control panel. off, off. Toggle visibility. These are the buttons that go from red to green. I don't even think you see this happen unless the camera quickly sees it, because we never come back to the game after this. This turns the red, makes the red button invisible, makes the green button visible on our control panel. We play the matinee of the camera going to the source of the slime, and now I'm destroying instead of trying to toggle or turn off things. I destroy my matinee of the slime dripping, which I just showed you. Actually, I showed you slime drip small. I destroy the actual matinee object, so it's no longer going to animate. Same here, no longer going to animate. I also destroy the static mesh that's animated, destroy the static mesh that's animated, and I destroy, let's see if we can go straight to the level, find actor level. We're destroying this ambient sound, which is right here in the middle of my floor, playing the goopy sound that you hear. Gloop, gloop. I destroy that too, and now I no longer hear audio. So when we watch our, I'm going to go play through and watch that last matinee IGC in a second here. You'll see the audio's gone, the drips aren't dripping anymore, and then it goes to my windscreen, and that windscreen is a level. So that's where we get the yay, and you see the button that says you win, and it gives you a quick text describing that the source, you found the source of the slime. So notice I have a delay here because I want this delay is put here so that the entire camera animation will play before it loads the level. If I don't put this here, it'll immediately go whoosh and load the level. And my fade to pink is actually in my matinee. So let's look at the matinee. So when we hit the control button, it plays this matinee. This is the animated camera playing right here. Scale it down. And here's the keyframes for that camera moving from here to here and to here. And if we look here, this director track is showing the camera movement. This fade track, this keyframe here and keyframe here is where it fades to pink. So it goes from set value, goes from 0 to 1. So between 4 seconds and 5.5 seconds, it fades into a completely dark pink, and this is the color here, right here, that we've set. And this below the slime off camera animation, this is the sound, and you hear the sound go beep. So the camera starts moving, 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 moving. Half a second into the camera moving, you hear the machine shut down. Beep. And then when you get to the camera still moving, when you get to the 4-second mark, it starts fading to dark pink. And right now the whole animation is 5.5 seconds. I've got this set to 5 seconds, so before the actual entire matinee plays, it starts opening my other level, which contains the windscreen. So we'll look at the windscreen now, but we're going to play that last matinee real quick. And I really need to fix that so we see the... Let's fix it and be professionals. Let's play the whole mission for the last time, and then we'll look at the mission. Now you're going to hear the goop. That's what I destroy when we hit the final button. So let's play through this. I don't think I need to look at that IGC again. Let's look at our little clue. Actually, I'm going to be a professional and play everything. Why? Because this is what you do as a level designer. You're constantly playing and playing your level over and over again, catching things that have broken and you have no idea why. Why did this break? Oh, I forgot to move my trigger back. Oh, I accidentally destroyed an actor by mistake. All kinds of things happen in the process of developing this. Power switch. Oh, good clue. I'm gonna ignore that and go over here. Ooh, I almost fell in that hole.
Access denied. Please try again.
Access denied. Please try again.
My bonus story tidbit, which now goes away after 5 seconds. Still need to fix that text. Hit the button. Power button again. I don't like the again. Green is on. Maybe if I look at the newspaper, it'll break everything. Let's look. So far, so good. Alright, nice story tidbit. We missed this one over here. Not required, but cool. And now we open the door. I can't open the door this way. Gotta touch the button.
Access granted. Access granted.
Hit the power button. Yay! Fade to pink. I could let that actually delay to 5.5 seconds instead of 5. So this is actually another level, this windscreen right here. And it's also interactive. If I hit this, it's going to reopen my level. So nice clean ending, has a little story element to it. So let's take a quick look at how I created my windscreen. So as you see, it's a separate level right here. Windscreen. Double click. Yes, save. As you can see in the viewport, there's absolutely nothing but blackness. Alright, so what we do is we're going to make a widget, and that's the only thing that's going to be in this level is a widget. And that widget's going to put the button on our screen so we can play it. So go over here, and what I need to do is in my blueprints we're going to see front end, which should actually be called windscreen. I called it a front end. We need to create a new blueprint class. And what I'm going to do down here is go to my user interface and call it and create a widget blueprint. So down here, right click, user interface, widget blueprint. And we'll call this WinWidget. Alright, now I'm going to double click on it. Get my WinWidget on the right screen. And this is basically my screen right here. This little outline, the blue outline, or the little dots or segmented square here, rectangle. So what I want to do is pretty much, I put an image behind mine, which was just pink. So I drag and drop the image here, and I scaled it out to match my screen, so it covers the whole screen. Now obviously you can put something in here like a GIF or something more interesting than just a color. All I did was drop in a color, which I double clicked and created my color to match my level and fade. So a nice pink background. Next, what I need to do is create text and a button. So I put a little backstory or ending story with mine, which is what I dragged the text here. And this is not interactive. You need a button to interact with it. And obviously on the right here is where we change our text. So we have text block. This is where I write slime level is complete. And I put something more interesting than that in my level, but I'm just going to put that for now. I have to scale it appropriately. Probably make my font bigger. And of course I'm starting to click and drag things over each other. Oh my goodness. So we'll put this down here. We'll get the pink back in place. So now let's get a button in here. Button. It's going to be bigger. This is the interactive element that will let us reset our level. We're going to drag a text box again over it. Now make sure the text box is a child of the button. You can see this right here. Button, text, child. If I drag it above it, it's no longer a child. Drag it on top of it, it's a child. So let's change that text to be start over. Not the best. And let's make our text bigger. And let's change the look of our button to be a dark gray or something. Dark, 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 dark pink. Oops, that was my text. Keep my text to be white. My button to be dark, 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 dark pink. What are you doing? Oh, background color. Weird. Not sure why it's affecting the text. It's a child of it. Interesting. That is new. Background color. There we go. Okay, better. I'm not sure why the button is changing the text color. I would assume I'd have to click on this to change it. Interesting. Alright, so that's all we've got is this blueprint widget. Button, text on top of it, more text explaining that the level's complete. If we hit play, this is all we get. And we also get yay.
Yay!
So why is it playing the replay in this text here instead of my current one? That is because I've not associated it with my playing it on screen, and I have audio playing from the start of the level. So I'm going to close this, just leave it as a test for now, and basically open this one. You saw how I created the other. Created exactly the same. The only difference now is I have to do one thing. Click on my button, scroll down here, and right here it says on click. These are events we can create. On pressed, on released, on hovered, on unhovered. Basically this is if something's hovering over it on your monitor, the mouse, cursor, etc. If I click on clicked, it creates this event. This event goes into the level blueprint. And all this means is I can click on the button, and when I click on it, it's going to open this level. So obviously to create this node, we just type in open level, and we put the level name right here. And the level name is not Level Master Finish 03, it's Level Master Finish 04. So change that. So click on button, open level. And like I said, this is actually in the level blueprint If I go over here, open level blueprint. Well, actually, no, it's not. It is on the widget itself. My apologies. So in the widget itself, it's on the event graph. So if we look at designer, that's where we see the widget visuals, the button, the text, and if we go over to graph, this is where the on clicked will be, giving its functionality to the widget. So in the level blueprint, again under blueprints, open level blueprint, and all this is a windscreen, we see this. And by default, event begin play is usually sitting right on your level blueprint. What we want to do is create a front end widget. So what we're going to do is create a widget. And it's called front end widget because you'll see it's looking right here for the widget itself. And the name of our widget is front end. So when we change it to the front end widget, it's called create front end widget. If I pick the test one I did, win widget, it's going to call it create win widget. So we attach event begin play. There's a node called add to viewport. Obviously we connect it up here and here. This is going to add it to our viewport. My yay plays sound in 2D so we can see it hear it the same everywhere. Is nothing more than playing a sound. So we right click and say play sound in 2D. My yay is my victory sound. There's two more pieces you got to do. You got to make sure you, from this create front end widget, you get the player controller. As you can see, it finds it very quickly. Get player controller, connect it here. And you're also going to want to connect it here. And what I'm doing here is by default, your cursor, mouse cursor, is not going to be working scrolling around your windscreen. So this is where we say set mouse, set show mouse cursor. So this is by default. We didn't set this up. If you type that in, you're going to find set show mouse cursor. Make sure this box is checked. This allows the mouse by default to scroll around your screen and connect it to your player controller. So now when we hit play, notice I click, this is interactive. If that mouse is not there, basically if you click once it disappears. So now if I click on this, resets my level. So, super simple. I won the level by nothing more than opening another level called windscreen. And within that windscreen, I have a widget that looks like this. This is an image, big pink image, which could be bigger. I have a button with text on it. I have more text just giving me a little story tidbit. This button, when clicked, will open the level so I can replay it. And in my level blueprint, I have to set up the fact that it'll show the widget. It adds it to the viewport. This is my victory sound. And we're making sure my mouse cursor is interactive. So that's how we make a victory screen. If you want to make a start screen, you do the exact same thing. You create a level and you set all this up, and instead of your text saying you win or replay, it says start. That's all you do, create another level. And I will go over this again in my quick tips. I will show how to set these up and go between your win and loss screens, etc. You could do a loss screen as well. If you die, you could load this level and say replay or try again. Alright, let's get back to my main level and make sure everything's working. Number 4 is my latest. I will save everything. I'm going to close my widget. Let's play through it one more time. Make sure it works. Remember, we're level designers. Test, test, test. IGC's working. Drips are dripping. I hear drip sounds. Lighting looks okay. Although that door looks super dark. My clues over there are working. This guy's good. IGC makes sense. Text is good. Fix my generator. Go back. The branch says true. I touch the generator first. See my special text. And open my door.
Access granted.
And win.
Access granted.
Alright. Clean, concise, level. Nice geometry. Missions easily understood. Everybody knows what to do. There's some story tidbits. The architecture looks good. Bonuses with cool looking IGCs. Bonuses with mysteries. Where does this go? Bonuses with sparks. Bonuses with newspapers. Bonuses with goop. Alright, I think I've covered everything we need to cover. Again, watch the Unreal Basics and look at the quick tips for faster stuff to do. I'm going to do some more blueprint videos, more quick tips and fixes, so people can get quick answers and not have to watch a long video like this one. And also, I'm going to be setting up more enemy and combat stuff, especially common sense stuff, how to kill enemies quickly, how to prototype enemies without super sophisticated AI, etc. Alright, this wraps up the slime level. Bye bye.